Hi plant people. We're sitting down to finally start recording my entire anthurium collection video. It has been quite some time, at least a month. I know for sure at least a month since my last video when I said this was gonna be my next video. But you may notice there's been some changes around here. This shelf, y'all, this shelf has almost driven me completely insane. I do not know how people do videos of them recording like a huge setup like this while also setting it up. Like, I was such a hot mess and I was ill as a hornet, as we say here in the South, and that would have been that. Y'all would have unsubscribed after that video. So just, I apologize. I don't have one of those videos for you to release at some point, but I just couldn't do it. I'm not the person. I'm not the person that's able to do those type of videos because I was struggling. Okay. However, I will at some point in the future do a walkthrough video where I am kind of showing you like, the whole setup, the plants that are on there, the lights that I used, all of that good stuff. So you can see the vibe, you can see what is going on. And if it's something that you're interested in doing for yourself, I'll of course like talk about everything that I used in that video. However, that video is going to take a while if and when that gets made, just because this anthurium collection video is going to take me several days to record. In that last video when I said that I had 100 to 110 anthurium, I do not know. I don't know where that number came from because I wrote down in my phone 170. I'm just blaming it on being sleep deprived because the puppy that we recently adopted, I say puppy, he's 1 year old. That is still a puppy. He has decided that his morning routine starts at 6:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. I am not a 6:30 a.m. girly. I am 8:30 is, I can do 8:30. 9 is preferable. 9 is preferable, but I can do 8:30 because that's like when my husband kind of starts getting up. So it's like I'm already being woken. But 6:30 a.m. I'm like, what do you have to do? You don't have a job. Why are we getting up at 6? Anyways, I have been very sleep deprived, and I said 100 to 110 in that video. I had at that time probably like 170. I have since accumulated many more anthurium, so I'm well over 200 at this point. I will say this is not, if you're just a normal person watching this video, do not get 200 anthurium. Do not do it. I have been shopping recently specifically for plants that I want to use as parent plants because I'm going to start hybridizing them before very long. Of course, that is dependent on the plant's growth, etc. In the past, I've been collecting anthurium for like 2-3 years. But like I said in that last video, I think I've really been hardcore collecting them for the last year because it's like the whole time I've wanted to hybridize, but figuring out how to grow them well in the environment in the way that I want to grow them, it's been tricky. It has been tricky, but I think that I've got it figured out now and things are doing so much better. They are sizing up so much. Roots are looking chunky and furry and healthy. So I think we are on a really good track. So the last few months, I have really been seeking out very specific plants that I want to use as parent plants. Now that is not saying that I'm looking for like clones of specific plants. Although I do think that definitely has a place because there are plants that you want like exact replicas of that plant. However, some of like the wonder and just like excitement for me is finding hybrids of plants that I like that are exhibiting like, some fun traits and getting them as like smaller plants or seedlings and watching those traits develop. Also, I hope this lighting is not like crazy. This is going to be the first clip in this video. So this is my first time filming in front of these new shelves. So we're going to see how it turns out. If it's really, please just disregard. If this is really bright, I will fix it after I edit this in the next clip because I will realize that when I'm editing this and I'll say, okay, we're going to fix that in the next one. So it will only be in this clip if it's looking a little crazy here. But yeah, so I have been seeking out, also it's like way less expensive to buy seedlings versus clones of these really cool plants. So it's like kind of like a combination of the cost and just wanting, I guess I like special things, you know, it's like you want something that's unique and, you know, you've not seen everyone have, you know, you want to be a little different. You know, I am an elder emo, so I want to be just a little different. I want to be a little edgy. Some of the crosses that I've been interested in, I've gotten several, like 2 or 3 of that same cross, just because I'm going to see, you know, like which one is exhibiting those specific traits that I want the best. And then I'll probably sell the other ones because I don't need 3 of every plant in my collection because I do not have space. I do not have space, time, or energy for duplicates on duplicates on duplicates of these plants. However, I do want to see, you know, which ones I want to keep and which ones I'm going to let go. So with that being said, I have set up my Palmstreet account. It's the same. I'll put it on the screen right here, but it's the same name, just leaves with less. If you're interested in following me over there, I will be selling not seedlings anytime soon probably, but definitely propagations of a lot of the plants. I've got like 50 cuts of plants that are rooting and starting to sprout upstairs right now because it's super warm upstairs. So they are like popping off like crazy. I'm going to be selling the majority of those, also some like Hoya propagations and stuff, just kind of as I go to kind of clear things out to make room for some of the plants that I am going to be keeping as they get larger. Also, a lot of these, as I said, that I have duplicates of, I'm not going to keep all these duplicates. So I probably will be selling whichever ones I don't want to go with. So if you're interested in buying at present potential clones / propagations of the plants that you see in this video, and in the future seedlings of the crosses of the plants that you see in this video, if you're into that, you can follow me over at Palmstreet, and that is where I am going to be listing things for the foreseeable future. We will eventually get a website up and running, but my husband's a software engineer. He is working on something else right now. So we'll be like getting the website figured out in the future. However, right now we're just going to go with Palmstreet because I need to clear out some of these propagations. And if you do choose to follow me over there, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You right there that just click follow on Palmstreet. I appreciate you. All right, that was a very long-winded intro as always, as is typical for me here on this channel. We are now going to be getting into the plant collection. Sully is joining me. Is he going to start barking? I'm doing something. Yeah, guilty. Guilty. Why are you screaming at me? Yeah, what's your excuse? You had something to say. What do you want to say? Tell it to the people. Tell it to the people. Preach your truth. Preach your truth, brother. Ow. What's your problem, homie? Yeah. You're getting on my nerves. Okay, now we're going to be getting into the video. So a little bit about my setup. So I'm in Northwest Georgia. It is in my house normally between like 70 to 74. Very humid in the summer, not as humid in the winter because we have central heating and air. So it gets very dry in the winter. I do have 2 humidifiers that I run for like 8 hours a day over here, and inside humidity before that right now in the summer is like 60%. So you can imagine that plus the humidifiers. We're humid over here. This works just fine in where I'm sitting right now, where most of my anthurium are. Just because this is like my dining room area and we've got vaulted ceilings and we've got like fans in here. So it's like, there's a lot of airflow. I don't have to worry about like mold or anything funky going on. So this works for me right now. Also, I am not going to be showing you every single anthurium in my collection because that would be cuckoo bananas. Because like I said, I have over 200 anthurium. That is just not feasible because I'm not even going to be keeping all of these. I'm going to be keeping some of them, the ones that end up looking the way that I want them to look, but a lot of these I'm going to be selling. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be starting on the bottom of these shelves, and I'm going to be going upwards because most of the plants, like my really special plants, are up towards the top. So they're on the top shelf you know, mostly because they are out of reach of Sully, who's turning into a plant stealer. Little punk, he had no issue with messing with my plants when it was like total chaos over here and there were plants everywhere, like in the floor, everywhere. Now that they're in like neatly placed in bins on shelves, he has decided that he's interested in them. So we are going to start on the bottom with the babies, and I'm going to show you some of those standouts. And then we are going to move upwards towards the more special ones that are at the top. As I said, this is going to be a product of several days. So we'll see how far we get today. And then I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to pick this back up tomorrow. Also, I'm not going to be going through my like prop / rehab bins in this video either. That may be a video in the future. There will be a lot of upcoming probably anthurium chores videos as we're like uppotting these and doing maintenance things to them. So you'll see all of the plants at some point eventually, I'm sure. I'm also not going to mention where I got every single one of these plants. However, if you go to my profile on Palmstreet and you click on my following, these are all the shops that I purchased from. I highly, highly recommend all of the shops on that list. However, I will link a couple or list a couple of my favorites in the description as well if you just want to go and like type it in. I'll put like my top favorites in the description. And then if you want to see more of the people that I follow, just click on my profile on Palmstreet and then click on where it says like the number that I'm following, and you can see all the people that I'm following on there as well. Alrighty, so the first one that I'm going to talk about in my little like seedling type bins, this is going to be an Indo Hoffmanii crossed with a red spider. And this I actually unboxed in a Cartel Dawn import video that I will link in the description. This, when I got it, it looked pretty good. Of course, during the import process, they can go downhill pretty fast. And it did. And it's not that I wasn't necessarily not expecting that, because that does happen sometimes where they may lose a lot of roots or leaves or whatever, and you have to kind of like rehab them and bring them back, which is what I did. I also did take a cut of that plant right after I got it and potted it up separately, which is going to be this one. And then I have my original, like the top of the chunk that I restarted, which will be behind me. And that one, they're both growing pretty well at this point. Their first couple of leaves that they've had, which are the ones that you're really going to see, are not looking the very, very best because they are still kind of getting like re-rooted and going from where I had chopped them and acclimated them and all of this stuff. But I don't know 100% sure if I'm going to keep this one. This is the propagation. This one is freaking, I love this plant so much. This is one of my overall favorites in my collection. Veins are absolutely incredible. Very, very spidery. And the sinus, you can see the red in the sinus. But that red in the sinus just never goes away. It stays on pretty much every single leaf indefinitely. I don't know how big these are going to get because the original leaves that it had were not like the biggest. And the subsequent leaves that it has grown for me, them being like still rehabbing, have not been the biggest either. And this one does have like a little baby leaf here. So it may just be a smaller plant. However, it is absolutely gorgeous. Very dark green, spidery veins, and the sinus that just keeps on being red. But yeah, so this is the prop. I may actually eventually, this may be one of the ones that I sell over on Palmstreet, just because, I mean, I don't necessarily need two of them. I'm kind of keeping this as like a safety net, a backup option for my other one, just in case, you know, something goes wrong and I lose that one. I won't have totally lost the plant because I would be absolutely devastated if I lost this one. This is one that looks pretty unique. This is kind of giving like a blue pap kind of type vibe to it, like the texture of the leaves. It's not velvety at all. It's very leathery. But this is a no ID from Barry. And the majority, almost all of these I've gotten over at Palmstreet. I can't even remember who I got this from because I don't have a tag in it. But this is its newest leaf. And you can see the venation on this one is just absolutely beautiful. Emergent color is pretty cute. It's kind of like a pale pinky gray. Nothing like too crazy to write home about. Again, it is kind of like a juvenile plant. So we'll see. That could always change as it gets a little bit more matured. But I just thought the venation on this one was really cool. It looks like it might be like a little bit long. Hopefully it'll kind of keep that length as it gets older. And y'all, we got a lot of plants to get through, so I'm not going to spend a million years on every single one of these. Something that I am kind of interested in right now is just like roughly plants. I think the one that really got me started on this is my basilisk, which you can't see over here. It looks like a hot mess right now, but it's growing back too. That's another one that I unboxed in that Cartel Dawn, or I think it was a different video, but it is also from Cartel Dawn. And it is starting to come back now too. But that just kind of started this ruffle kick for me. So I'm obsessed with anything that's ruffled. And this one is Fort Sherman Ralph Lynham crossed with Dress, crossed with a Carla Bivet. And she's ruffly, honey. She is a ruffly. You see those ruffles? She's kind of flat too. So this is not the newest leaf, but this is the one previous to that newest. And she's got a little bit of a wave. And then we have got, Lord, I'm trying not to drip all over me, her newest leaf, which is very flat. Very flat, very wavy. She's very, very wavy. So hopefully, I know it's, you know, with a lot of things with seedlings, it's kind of a gamble to see if it'll keep this really wavy shape as it gets older, but that's really what I'm hoping for on this one. Flat sinus, wavy body. This is a little cutie that I got from Nice Plants Good Pots. And this is a cross between their Mike's Yard #1 and Swamp Monty Long. And this is just I thought this one was cool because of the length. So that's something else that I like. We got like a long boy. We like a ruffled boy. We like a few sinus. We like a few sinus over here. But yeah, so this one was just like really long and interesting looking. I really like Swamp Monty. So we'll see. Hopefully that one will stay pretty long too. I think that is it for bin #1. These other ones are looking a little crusty. Alrighty, let's see what we got in this bin right here. You can see she is slat full. These are pretty small, so I don't think there's really a lot to see here. This is one of my favorites. This is a cross that I literally have. I have 3 or 4 of these that all look different. And this is a Code Red crossed with Red Crystal F2. So it's one Code Red crossed with Red Crystal, crossed with another Code Red crossed with Red Crystal. And Code Red, which is, I cannot remember who that plant comes from. I will put it on, I do know, I follow them on Instagram, but I'm going to put their name on the screen. That is the most incredible plant I've ever seen. Well, maybe not ever seen, but it's like one of the most incredible plants that I've ever seen. And I am totally obsessed with that one. So I got 3 of these seedlings. A couple of them are a little bit larger. And then I went back and got this one because it's smaller, but it's much darker. So I think this one looks pretty like the parents. She is very dark in comparison to my other ones. And her emergent, which she just put out her little baby leaf over here, has really purple veins, which you definitely will not be able to see right now. But yeah, they're really beautiful. Reddish sinus, purpley veins. Can't go wrong. I have high hopes for this one. I'm feeling like this is probably the one that I'll keep, and I'll end up selling one or both of the other ones, just depending on how they turn out, because, oh my God, I lied. I think I have 4 of these because there's another one right here. So this is the second one. So you can see not quite as dark. Venation's a little bit different. This one's emergent is more vibrant though, but it's more of like a fuchsia. Versus this one is more like dark and purpley. So there they are, siblings. See, this is just like, I'm telling you, breeding anthurium, I have like such a fiery passion in my heart to start breeding, because look at this variance between siblings is just incredible. The way that the genetics works just truly just knocks my socks off. So likely at some point y'all will see these on my Palmstreet also. At least one. At least one. I don't need 4. I've got to get rid of at least 1. Okay, this is another cool one. This is This is also from Nice Plants. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you where every plant is from, but when it's relevant, I'm going to have to tell you because, you know, some people have specific variants of plants. Just so you know what I'm talking about, okay? So this is Tim Anderson's Crystal Mag crossed with Tim's Black, crossed with Self. And this is another one that looks kind of long. Don't mind the white right here. That's just some nutrient solution that got splashed on that leaf. But very dark, very long. She has this like really pointy, cutesy tip. Very thick. This one is much more thick and rigid. Pretty dark. Balm veins. Purple emergent. So yeah, she's gorgeous. Let's see this one. This is just a no ID that I got from Burgle House Hort on Palmstreet. These are all on Palmstreet. This is a really unique looking one. Not much of a sinus there. Kind of an oval. I did straight up just rip this emergent right off when I was unboxing it. I was so pissed at myself. But yeah, cutie patootie. Let's see. I'm telling you, there's really not a lot to see in this bin because they're at that young point where they look so similar. Like nothing in here is really gonna like blow y'all away. What is this? This one I actually got off of, I probably need to repot this, honestly. This one I got off of Etsy. And this is a Pap Dagger by Wavy, which is what they call it. And that is exactly what it looks like. It is long, daggery, kind of wavy. You can see the wave in the other leaves. So it just has like a really interesting texture to it as well. Like a little bit pebbly, kind of like a long sinus veins, if that makes sense. So that one's kind of interesting. Do I want to repot this right now? I may want to go ahead and repot that. I'm gonna leave that one out. Let's see, what are these? What are you? Oh, this is cute. This is a Carla Bevet crossed with a red crystal. She's so cute. It's so round. This one is like such a nice chubby little round leaf. I love that. And then there's her newest one. Really pink veins. Just really cute. I normally go for like daggery type stuff, but I just thought this one was so chunky and cutesy. Come on, focus. Work with me. What do I have to do to get you to focus, homie? Okay, honestly, I just feel like I don't really have anything else to show you in here. Do you want to see this one maybe? This is an NSE port from Silver Chrome Gardens crossed with Blue Magic, which is a plant from WildRootsNursery. And this is another long daggery one. So that one's pretty cool. We've got an emergent over here, which is kind of like pinky purple. It's kind of like lavender. Like in real life, like a lavendery green. So it definitely looks long. She looks long. I mean, that's probably the port, right? That's a cute one. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this tray. I'm done. God, this one's the comeback of the century. This is my Michelle that I got a bazillion years ago. And she has died by. This has been the most difficult plant. When I tell you, this thing has not wanted to grow roots below the soil. Like she would only put out roots from the very top of her stem. Even if I had her in sphagnum moss. So I had to keep like burying her further because she would put out leaves and they would eventually die off. And she just kept putting roots out above the moss. I was like, girl, you were driving me freaking insane. But she finally got her to root eventually. And I potted her back up. And she has finally given me a reasonable size leaf. And then also put out this offset. Like, what is going on with this offset over here? Honestly, it looks pretty cool. It's kind of like, it's kind of chubby. She's kind of chubby and cutesy. You know what I need to do is really bury that further down. But yeah, so we got this cute little offset. Probably will be selling that once it gets a little bit bigger. But yeah, she's super pretty. Stays pretty pink. Very dark, silvery, glittery. It's kind of like a typical Michelle. Nice venation. But yeah, she's sizing up like crazy. She has a new emergent here too, so hopefully that one will be pretty big. This is a cute one. This is a, not my Michelle, but a Michelle crossed with a Hoffmanni, which I'm obsessed with Hoffmanni. That is one of my all-time favorite anthurium. Anything crossed with Hoffmanni I like. This is its newest leaf, which got a little bit beat up. Let me tell you, we have got some damaged emergents popping around because I've been setting up these dang shelves. And when I tell you I was slinging plants everywhere by the end of it, it is what it is. They'll grow new leaves. Like, it'll be okay. But if you see a bunch of dinged up, beat up leaves, just know I'm doing my best over here, okay? I'm doing my best. But yeah, so dinged, beat up leaf. But yeah, this looks really good. I like the color. I like this like olivey green tone with the kind of like splash. I like this kind of like explodey veins from the sinus. I really like it on this one. I wish it would be round like this. Like, I love this leaf. This leaf, amazing. This one, I'm not pleased that it is getting longer. I mean, maybe I just don't like it as much because it's beat up, and I like it when it gets a little bit bigger. This is its other leaf. So yeah, I just really like the veins at the sinus, looking pretty spidery, silvery, quite Hoffmanni. But yeah, I really love this little chubby, cute round leaf over here. We'll see. We'll see if this is a keeper or if I will let this one go. Right now, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence because I really love this leaf. We'll see. I need her to put out some new leaves to the side. This is another one that I got scraped as heck. This is my X-ray cell from JV, which is J. Vanini. This one I definitely need to bury this more. So this is going to be another task for today. Probably, but yeah, it has definitely started sizing up. That is its last leaf. This was its newest leaf, which actually looked pretty good before I backed a bent up on it and just scraped right across there. But she's cutesy, pretty long. We'll see on this next leaf. I definitely need to bury that more. This is one that I actually grew from a seed that I got for free from an order on Etsy, again, a million years ago. This is like one of, where is that plant? I don't even know where that plant is. Oh, it's this one. I had purchased this one, which is a Magnificum crossed with a no ID they call raspberry. And it may be like some kind of King of Spades something. It's really round, cute, dark, interesting veins. This is its newest leaf. Really pinky pink emergent. And they gave me a seed for free with that, which was what they called watermelon crossed with either Bessier AFF or a King of Spades. And this one, I mean, it has been looking pretty cute. Honestly, pretty similar to this one. Well, not that leaf, but there you go. That looks a little similar, just a more juvenile. But its newest leaf has fused its sinus. So like I said, we love a fused sinus over here. So I'm really excited about this. I would love if this would continue in its next leaves. Like, please keep that fused sinus. That is so cute. I love these like crystallinum looking plants with the silvery, like these really thick silvery veins that have the fused sinus. I just think that looks really interesting. So we'll see. That'll be one to keep an eye on. This is one that I got for the texture. So this is a Ray Hoffmanni crossed with a Tim Anderson Crystal Mag crossed with Tim's Black. So the Ray Hoffmanni crossed with Crystal Mag crossed with Black, both from Tim Anderson. And this one just has that interesting, like, I don't know, kind of like dimply, leathery texture to it. Again, dark, long, dairy, cutesy little round lobes. But I really like the texture. It's really hard to like capture the texture of these on the camera. You can kind of see right there. But yeah, so we'll see. She's cute. I'm gonna stop saying we'll see. This is actually a plant that I grew from a chonk cutting of my mother plant, which was sold as a red pap crossed with a forgetti. But its venation is just so interesting. Like, it's got almost like crystallinum venation. My mother plant, which I was kind of like, I didn't know for sure how that plant was going to do because when I got it, it was a rehab and I did grow it back, but it was kind of like, maybe I'll just show it. I'll just go ahead and show it. I'll show it now. And then if I show it again later because I forgot, just know. Okay, so this is like my larger mother plant, like the original chunk that I cut this off of. And its previous leaves were looking pretty similar to that. So you can see it's just got this really cool veination. Very, very pink sinus. Like you can see, this is the oldest leaf. I think this has been on it at least for a year, maybe longer than that. And it's still very pink in the sinus. This leaf is a little bit bleached and it is kind of yellowing off too, because like I said, that is the oldest leaf. But still really cool looking. And then this was the next one. And this one came out very, very dark. Very dark, still very pink in the sinus. But it started fusing after this leaf. So even though this is the chonk cutting and these leaves are not, like they're not like really fused. This is the newest leaf. This is the first one that looks like super good. The previous leaf to this has a semi-fused sinus. So you can see it's fused part of the way up. I love that. Love semi-fused also. And see, it kind of like goes back and forth. So it's like this one's semi-fused and then it put out this one, which was not fused at all. And then we have semi-fused and then we have not fused at all, which is the newer one. But that was doing this over here on this one as well. So that one is semi-fused. And then it put out this one, which is where it started fusing and it hasn't stopped since this one. So really cool veination. Again, this one's really dark. I'm hoping it'll go back to being darker on this newest leaf because of the change in the nutrient solution. So we've got this one, which is very dark, very cool. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. That veination with the fused sinus, that looks crazy to me. Like that looks so good. And then it put out this one, which again, this one's a little bit lighter. This was one that I think I had like flat mites. So I went through and treated everybody for flat mites. So this one does have what looks like a little bit of flat mite damage on it. So she's looking a little crusty. But then this is the most recent leaf. So that one is looking absolutely gorgeous. And it does have a few sinus, but it still has kind of like, it has like some ears. Do you see the little ears up here? Isn't that cute? And this one's kind of narrow. So this plant really keeps me on my toes, which is part of the reason why I love this one so much. Like there's so much variety in this plant. Like they look the same, but they're different. They each have their own personality. And that's kind of doing the same thing on this one. But that newest leaf is just absolutely gorgeous. Total stunner. But this might be another one that I'm selling because this one's doing really well now. So I don't necessarily need, again, 2 of these probably. Although this is one of my favorite plants. So I don't know yet. I may end up selling this one. Okay, next on the bottom here is my Anthurium Blue Velvet. This is one that I got from Steve's Leaves originally. And their plants sometimes just come with 2 plants per pot. And this was one of those. So I have 2 of these. This is the one that I'm going to be keeping. And then I also have actually like a larger one, which I'm going to be selling. But this is just a cool one to have. It's like really, again, this is like one of the more leathery ones, kind of like cool blue, gray toned green. Just really interesting plant. And this is one that you would get for texture. Really cool texture too. Alrighty, and this one is a Dock Block Purple. I don't know which one. Crossed with I don't know how to say this. Rotundum. I can't pronounce everything, y'all. This one I liked a lot because of like this puckering that's happening in the sinus. I just thought that was kind of cool. Like the way that it's like pulling the veins in almost. And it's present on all of the leaves. So this is just something that I was kind of interested in seeing how that kind of develops over time. Nothing like too crazy looking right now. It is a little bit long and it has pretty pink sinus. So that may be something that's a little bit interesting in the future. And then it has this like very, very dark purple emergent. Very like plum purple. This is one that is on its comeback. So this is a David Portilla Dreams, which I believe is an Equigenera cross. I did not get it from Equigenera, but I think that's originally who made that cross. And it's a luxurians crossed with something. I can't remember. I wrote it down. But that's its newest leaf that it put out, which is really cute. And then its previous leaf. Again, this is like with the semi-fused sinus. You can't really tell as much because the lobes are so close. The newest leaf does not have a semi-fused sinus. But I just kind of like this shape of this. And I don't know. I just think it has a good amount of luxuriance without being like too overpowering. Very pink veins, very pink sinus. And this newest leaf is a little bit wonky. But that's to be expected after everything that she's been through. Like, she's doing her best. Also, this has a straggler as well. If you know me, like, this cannot just be me. I have alocasia corms popping up from everywhere. Like, I swear I sort out my soil. I swear I sort out the corms. But no matter what I do, I just have random alocasias popping up in all of my plants. And there's another one right here. This almost looks like a pink poly. Which, I mean, I know for sure I was looking through. Like, I'm looking for those corms for sure. But yeah, it's coming up right here, so we'll see. All right, guys, and last two on the bottom. This is, what are you? I cannot remember. This is like a magnificum or something crossed with a Colombian no ID. Really cool venation on this one as well. Really love the lobes. Very dark. Also, this is another one that has like very leathery texture, and the veins almost look glowy the way the silver kind of like contrasts around the color of the veins, which is this pale, it's got a little bit of pink in the newest leaves, but it's like this silvery green and a little bit of a darker silver behind it. So it makes the veins look very like illuminated. But yeah, that's a cool one. That is a cool one. And then this is the last one on the bottom. She is busted. Now she is busted. Just keep that in mind. This is the one that I got from Rousseau Plant Care. And this is Ace of Perps crossed with Word Salad. And the original leaf that she came with was this one, which looked okay. Like, I think she actually came with two leaves and one died off completely. This one's kind of crispy. But that's to be expected, you know, like when you have a plant shipped to you. And then this one was emerging, which, you know, unsurprisingly got damaged in shipping. Again, just kind of like to be expected. So I've just been waiting on her to kind of like come back and start growing because the venation on this one, it looks great. She is super, super duper, duper, duper dark. Very raised, rigid venation. And it looks like we are getting to caterpillar now. So we've got this little guy poking up here, and hopefully we will get a new leaf before too long because that one is going to be gorgeous. All right, guys, so I think that is my stopping point for today because I've made it through this first shelf. So I will see you back here, same place, same time tomorrow for shelf number 2. Hey guys, we are back. It is the next day and we are just going to continue. We are in a little bit of a different location today. We're on the other side of my shelf. Do not start with me. Do not start with me today. I had to relocate because we are fighting against the weather today. The last few days, it has been the perfect fall weather. It has been under 70 degrees, overcast, cloudy, rainy, amazing. We're back to being like hot as heck, blazing sun today. And it's got like the really big fluffy clouds. So we're going between being incredibly bright and being overcast. So just bear with me through this clip. The lighting may fluctuate a little bit, but we're just gonna pick back up where we left off. All right, so first up, we have got a Bessier crossed with a red vein dark phoenix. This one, ooh, she is so dark. She is so dark. I might literally have to, that's her newest leaf, y'all. I may have to, can you see this? Okay, I had to move the light a little bit because just ignore my like glowing paleness, but I want you to be able to see the plants. So we are focusing on the plants, not my very bright face today. So just ignore this as much as possible. This is the Bessier crossed with the red vein dark phoenix. I hope that you can kind of see it. This one, it's gonna be kind of difficult with some of these plants that are really, really dark. But this one, picking up a lot of the red vein dark phoenix, very dark texture, very red vein dark phoenix. This is her newest leaf. Absolutely gorgeous. Red veins, very red veins. Let's see, she has got some little squished lobes, red petioles. The back veining is really beautiful too. This one is just a wee babe. So she is just starting to size up a little bit. Hopefully that next leaf will be even better. This one is still actually hardening off a little bit, so that one will expand a little bit more. But she is gorgeous, very chocolatey, kind of like a chocolatey, dark chocolatey green. This one is a red spider crossed with a no ID. Definitely giving, again, the blue pap texture, that kind of like leathery blue gray tone to the leaves. This is another one that's got really great veination. She's looking like her leaf did crack a little bit up here at the top, but she's looking like she's going to be a little bit flat. I don't know if this is going to continue, but she is looking quite flat. Even her older leaves are a little flat. This one would have been fairly flat too. So that would be great if she was like really flat with these cool spidery veins. She doesn't really carry a lot of the pink in the sinus. She did just put out a new leaf, so we'll kind of see what those emergents look like once that gets a little bit bigger. But yeah, she's very daggery, hopefully flat sinus, spidery veins, all the good things. This one is a Bevet crossed with a red vein dark phoenix. So kind of similar. This one is a little bit more mature, so those leaves are getting a little bit bigger. You can see how red the veination is on this newest leaf. Very textured, very dark, very pretty. This is the leaf that she has just put out. Again, that red, oh my gosh, let me tell you, these red veins in contrast with that like olivey green. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous, and that like satiny finish. Yeah, I feel like this one is going to be a stunner when she gets more mature. And then the really cool reddish veins on the back. Gorge. Okay, this one I do not have a tag for whatever reason. If I can find the cross that this is, I will just put it on the screen here so you know what this is. This one actually has a little bit of blister variegation. It's not ultra strong. But you can see it maybe, let me see here, just a little bit in here. If you see this kind of like silvery flecks, you can see it a little bit on this leaf also. So all the leaves have like just a little bit of that blistering on it. This one is another really dark, leathery, silvery veins. Yeah, this one's really pretty. The lobes are kind of wonky. A lot of times with blister variegation, like it just kind of mutates the leaves a little bit and they end up being a little wonk, but she's still really beautiful. I think especially once the leaves get a little bit bigger. We'll see how that turns out. This one is a Fort Sherman Ralph Linum, and this was the newest leaf when I purchased it. I just liked how like cleanly angular this leaf was. I was like, wow, that is like a really good example of this cross. Yeah, it's just like very sharp. The angles are very sharp. And then this is the next leaf. So this is the first one that it gave me in my care. This one was just barely emerging when it had shipped. So it did get a little bit of damage on it, but it doesn't look terrible for it being a first leaf. There was a considerable size up since that last one. And I'm hoping that, you know, in my care now, that next leaf will be a little cleaner. Like this one, I would love if it went back to that really like angular, nice shape. This one is a really pretty, again, kind of like olive green with kind of yellowish veins. So she is really beautiful. This is one of my bird's nest anthurium. This is the Anthurium Renaissance. This is the variegated version, and I just really love bird's nest anthuriums. I talk about them all the time. Like, I feel like they are kind of underrated, but they're just like a really good all around beautiful plant. They've got really nice green foliage, leaf shape's really beautiful. When they have several different varieties of variegation with these that present in different ways, but I like this one. It's kind of like a minimal variegation. The tone of yellow looks really good with this leaf contrast, the contrast of the green. And just this growth pattern is really beautiful, and they're pretty low maintenance and not much fuss. And this one is another bird's nest anthurium. This is the Anthurium Genmanii, I believe. I do not have, oh, I do have a tag in this. Yes, this is the Genmanii. This one is definitely more variegated. We have almost a full half moon on that one. And then, let me see. Yeah, that was the most recent leaf. So she's gotten much bigger past these previous leaves. Really beautiful variegation. It does harden off to like a little bit more of a white and comes out a little bit more of a yellow, like a creamy yellow. And she does have a new leaf on the way. So really beautiful. This one's very thick, cardboardy type leaves, which are really interesting. And it has a more upright growth pattern. This is a pendant anthurium that I'm absolutely in love with. When this one matures, it's supposed to have kind of wavy leaves. We are not to that point yet. It is still very juvenile, but she has grown a lot since I have gotten her. And it is the SP Morona. I got this originally from Woohoo Tropicals, just as like the tiniest little seedling. Like these were the leaves when I had gotten it, how big they were. And then this was her most recent leaf here. So she has gotten much larger. And then she's just put out a new leaf that looks like it has like just a little bit of a wave to it. So hopefully in the next few leaves, we'll actually see some of that like serious waving. But this one's so beautiful. Her texture, she's very matte. So very like flat, matte green leaves. They're a little bit thicker than like your palletiflorum, things like that. And then it has the petiole style where they kind of like come up and then the leaf comes off of the more raised petiole versus wanting to like really grow over the edge of the pot like the palletiflorum and things like that. But she is really beautiful. She doesn't look like a ton. She doesn't look the most right now. You know, like she's a little basic right now, but when she gets bigger and starts getting those wavy leaves, she's gonna be a stunner. This is my anthurium Big Bill. When I got this, it was in suspiciously perfect condition. And I just knew that it was going to take a dive for the worst. Like, you know, when you get a plant and you're like, wow, this was grown in literally the most optimal conditions that I will never be able to replicate. And it is not going to be happy with me. And that is exactly what happened. So it died back. We had a little bit of a struggle. It has re-rooted, put out an offshoot. And then these are the two leaves from the offshoot. The original growth point looks like it's gone dormant. It doesn't look totally dead. It's still green. But I don't know if it's going to grow any longer, but that's fine because we have this offset that is looking just fine. And while these leaves look like a fair size, this could not be a smaller example of this plant. This plant gets absolutely massive. I do not know if it'll actually, you know, like get to that point in my growing conditions because it's not getting like blasted with natural light in here. So we'll see how big it like actually gets here in my home. If it does end up getting pretty big, like we'll figure out somewhere to put it because this one is absolutely gorgeous. This is another one that gets kind of roughly leaves, which I absolutely adore. And this plant is originally from Silver Chrome Gardens. They have the absolute perfect, enormous specimen of this plant. I'll put a picture of it on the screen because it's just absolutely incredible. Again, I do not think mine will ever get anywhere near this size, but even if it got half of the size, it would still be an issue, you know? So I'm literally just gonna have to like hang it from the middle of my ceiling or something. This one is a Magnificum cross with a Bessier AFF, and I had to reroot this several times. She's given me several issues. I think we are doing pretty well now though, because we have this leaf that had originally come. This was the first leaf after I repotted her when she was kind of like coming back. And then this was the next leaf. When I originally got this plant, it had a rather flat sinus. You can see she's kind of like, again, angular. Sinus is widening a little bit, but not nearly as flat as when I originally got this plant. But veins, gorgeous. Darkness, gorgeous. This one's very like rainbowy when it comes out, which, you know, is typical of Bessier sometimes. But yeah, this one's absolutely gorgeous. I actually have 2 chunks of this that I will definitely be selling because this one gets fairly large and I don't have space for multiples of this one for sure. This is one that is not doing the best. I recently found root rot on this, and for some reason, the mealybugs that I have been evicting from my Hoyas have really loved this plant, so they keep popping up on here, and I keep treating it. So I don't think they're an issue currently. Like I think that they have left the building for the most part. Yeah, I don't see anything on here. However, I did find root rot on it. So it has been struggling again. Did a chop off the bottom of the chunk just because it was getting so long. It was kind of sticking out of the pot. So I believe that I have that one upstairs rooting, and it was putting out, unfortunately, this new leaf when I had discovered the root rot. Like, she was just looking a little wilty and not great. But it has still not melted this leaf off. It is still very soft, not anywhere near being hardened, but it's absolutely gorgeous, super dark, almost black, like a blue black. I didn't even say what this was. This is the Panamama 3.0 crossed with a Carla dress. And this was the previous, oh, I'm lying. This is the previous leaf over here, which is looking super busted. Yeah, I was like, this is like yellowing out of nowhere. All the leaves started yellowing, so I was like, oh, it's probably root rot. And it was. Yeah, she was really belate and gorge. So hopefully, I have hope that she's going to bounce back pretty quickly, because again, like, I really suspected her to like immediately melt this leaf off when I had to really, you know, like chop her and take roots off and repot her and all that. But she hasn't yet, which is ultra surprising. So I don't know if it's going to keep this forever, but it has kept it for quite a while. This guy is a Carla crossed with a Dock Block F2. And this is the leaf that it's had on it for quite a while. This is another one that was growing back from root rot, and it has just recently put out this leaf, which is very like autumny colored. It's kind of like an orangey, burnt orange color. She's so pretty. I'm so happy that this one is finally growing again. I love the venation on this one. This one is not much to see right now. This is Big Black Block crossed with SP Napo, and this is from Paul over at Understory Oasis. And this is the top cutting of the plant that I received. I actually bought this as a leafless plant, and I chopped the chunk right when I got it. So I actually have a bottom cut of this as well. This is the top cutting, and this one has just put out a new leaf. So that is super exciting. This one is really big and fluffy and dark. So this is gonna be a fun one, a fun update. Maybe I'll post a picture of this over on Instagram, because I'm trying to do that. I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at it. And this little lady is another roughly one. This is a Fort Sherman Ralph Linum crossed with a Dress Carla Bevep. So a lot of things in this one, but look how cute she is. This is another one that has like a very flat sinus. Look at those ruffles, OMG. Love that. So again, with these little seedlings, like you never know how roughly and flat it's going to be when it gets older. So I've got this one, and then I had the other one that was pretty much the same thing. I think, what was the other one? Yeah, so this is the same cross as the other one that I showed you. So this is another one that I have a duplicate of. So we're just going to see out of these two, which one, hopefully at least one of these will keep those like really intense ruffles and flat sinus. And then I will probably let the other one go. And then we've got several larger seedlings that we're going to run through now. So this one is a Black Widow Michelle crossed with a No ID. And this one has got those really, really thin, spidery Black Widow Michelle veins. But it's very fluffy. So maybe it's like a dress or something. You can literally barely see the veins on there. They're so thin. But yeah, I just loved how pillowy, especially here in the upper part of the leaf, this was. Yeah, you can really see that pillowiness kind of with the shadows. And she has got, if you can see down in there, like a little, can you see that little new leaf poking out? She's about to put out a new leaf, so that'll be exciting. The previous leaves were still like kind of similar, pillowy, not nearly as pillowy as this one right here. So I'm hoping, since I have been feeding them really heavily and I have potted it in my mix, that it will be happy with that and that new leaf will be even bigger. All right, this one is a very complex cross. So this is going to be the mother plant is going to be a Magnificum crossed with an Ace of Spades crossed with a Forget-I Carla. And then the seed parent is an HU Doriaki crossed with a Velvet Mask. And that is this one. And I just thought this one was really interesting because how the veins are kind of inconsistent. So you can see there are like these veins here that are like very intense and silvery and kind of electrified. but the other veins are very minimal. And this was the newest leaf that came out. This was just emerging as it was shipping, but it is getting much darker. This one is nearly hardened off at this point. So very dark, keeping those really interesting veins. Like the primary veins are really intense. And then the other veins are not nearly as tense, but it's like very messy. The veins are very messy, especially as they taper off near the ends. I just thought that was really interesting. And then she's got a little pink sinus. Even on the older leaves, it's holding on to that pink sinus. Even back to the oldest leaf that it has. It has, I don't know if you can see that really well, but it does still have a pink sinus on that leaf as well. So it holds on to the pink for quite a long time. And then also, exciting development, the newest leaf has a semi-fused sinus. So again, that is one of my favorite things right now. So this one, I think this one's gonna be a really cool one when she gets bigger. Alrighty, and this is a simple one. This is a Forgetii crossed with a Bevet. And the reason that I got it was these older leaves had these like this really interesting veination. This one was not very expensive at all. So you can see how like funky that veination is. And another cool development on this one, fused sinus. So we are just going bonkers over here with these sinuses getting fused and semi-fused. But this is another one that it looks just so cool on because it's gotten so pillowy. So she's like super pillowy. And she's got this funky little fused sinus up here that's like rippling all over the place. Like how cute is that? Alrighty, and then this one is a Zara Michelle crossed with Debilis. So I'm hoping this one is gonna have some really cool texture on it. It's already looking pretty pillowy, but it does have, it's pretty rigid, kind of minimal, still minimal spidery veins, very pink though. But it is, you know, looking kind of pillowy and textured like the Debilis, which is what I was hoping for. That would just be really cool, like a Debilis with really pink veins. So she's still just a baby. And this one is my Dark Phoenix. And she has definitely been a diva. She's been giving me lots of issues. She has finally gotten to the point, I think she really likes this soil mix because I've got some like crazy chunky roots coming through now since I've repotted her in there. She was just putting out a new leaf, but she aborted it because I had these sitting, as I was getting these shelves built, these plants were like all over the place. They were just like shoved into places that were not getting nearly as much humidity as they were, or light. So I think she just probably threw a temper tantrum because of that. And her older leaves are kind of busted. But I was very shocked when she gave me this really big leaf as her last leaf, which looks a million times better than her previous leaves did. And she is very, very dark. You can see the texture though. I love these just because of like that velvety pillowiness with like the satin finish. Oof. Gorge, gorge. So hopefully her next leaf, she will really start sizing up. I'm so bummed out that she aborted that leaf because that would have been, I feel like that would have been a really good one. This one is a no ID from RootedRarities. This one's finish is so interesting because it's mostly leathery, but it has just the faintest amount of velvet, which is giving it this like ultra satin finish. And it's very blue, very, very blue leaning. I don't know if you can pick up, like this is a totally hardened off leaf. Can you see how blue that is, especially in the light? Like, it's kind of crazy. Very, very blue, bright yellow sinus. And it has just put out this little leaf here. So she's got this like pinkish burgundy emergent. This one's looking pretty long. So this is looking much longer and narrower than this one, which is interesting. But it does still have the texture and it has the yellow sinus. So I think this one is going to be a really cool one. I really love buying these interesting no-IDs just to kind of see what they turn into. This is another one that I've gotten a couple of. This one is from Seattletropicalguy. I believe that's his name, over on Palmstreet. He is one of my all-time favorite sellers, so I will have him listed in the description. But this is his Dresslery F2 crossed with an AOS dark form crossed with Blood Moon, which is a red sinus Hoffmanii, an Australian plant. And this one is not presenting Blood Moon nearly as much as the other ones. So I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping this one, but it is still a really pretty plant. I definitely see the Hoffmanii in this one. And again, I just really love Hoffmanii. But right now this one is not like knocking my socks off as much as the other ones are, which you will see later in this video. So this may be one that I let go of as well. I don't know for sure yet because I haven't gotten its first leaf in my care, and it is looking like it's at that point where it's like just starting to mature. So it could, you know, it could surprise me. It could put out a really crazy leaf, this next leaf. Alrighty, so this is a plant called Sentinel, which is a red stem pap crossed with open, so they don't know who the pollen donor is. This is just like a really nice red pap looking hybrid. It does have, of course, the red sinus. In this leaf, it is semi-fused again, which is something that I am just really drawn to. It has just put out another leaf, which looks to also be semi-fused, very, very red. Not much to see on that one yet because it's like so tightly kind of like furled still, and I don't want to mess with it too much. I think I said Seattle Plant Guy. It's Seattletropicalguy. Is the seller that I really like on Palmstreet because his name's on this tag right here. This one is one of that cross that had Blood Moon in it, but this one looks much more Blood Moon. So this is a Carla crossed with the AOS Dark Form crossed with Blood Moon. And this one, yeah, this one's much redder. You can see this one's got much redder veins, much darker, probably a little bit with the help of the Carla, but this one does have a leathery texture. And that new leaf is so pretty. It's just so pink. Those veins on the back, OMG. So yeah, I feel like this one is looking much better than the previous one. So I think this one will likely be a keeper. This is one that I've had for quite a while. This is Tim's Black crossed with Cinnamon Swirl. And she does have those kind of like cinnamony colored emergence, kind of like autumn. They just make me think of autumn when it's like that like burnt orangey color. This is her newest leaf. She is not nearly hardened off yet, but she does have a little bit of that orangey tone to her still. I don't know if you can see it much with this lighting. This is the previous leaf. So she is getting pretty big, pretty dark. On that last leaf, it is starting to look a little beat up just because it has been on there for a really long time. So I'm probably going to cut that off once this one hardens a little bit more. But I just love her, like how sharp the bottom of the leaf is. So she's kind of long and sharp. Veins are really pretty. And this is a red spider crossed with some kind of pap. It's looking kind of blue pap to me. It does have the red point in the sinus, but it's looking pretty narrow, and it has that kind of like bluey silver tone to the leaves, or bluey gray tone to the leaves, narrow, cutesy veins, and that red sinus. So that is looking pretty good. She has a new leaf that's just come out right over here, which is very pink. So I think she will be, when she gets bigger again, this is going to be another really cool one. Hopefully she keeps like being pretty narrow and long with those spidery veins. She is so pretty. This one is a black pap crossed with an NSE port. This is another one that I was interested in because she's looking pretty wavy. Not ultra like outstanding from the front, but from the side. From the side, the waves really got me. She does have really like nice lobes and veins, of course. And she has that kind of pebbly texture. That is her most recent leaf, which was just kind of damaged during shipping. But she has just put out a new leaf here, which is already looking pretty large, like for an emergent size in comparison to her existing leaves. So I'm thinking that next leaf is going to be pretty big. But the lobes on this one are really, really good. And then the wave, so hopefully she'll keep that wave as well. And then this is another one of that cross with the Blood Moon. So this has the AOS Dark Form Blood Moon as the mother plant, and the pollen donor is a Fort Sherman. And this one's actually quite round for having Fort Sherman in there. So it's definitely taking after mom. So she's got that really like satiny finish, very round and dark. So that is very blood moon reminiscent to me, but she does not have a pink sinus. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but her shape is looking really, really good. She's very dark, very satiny, veins are really nice. So the pink sinus, you know, I don't need a pink sinus on every plant. This is an Australian hybrid that I picked up from RootedRarities. This is what the tag says, if it will focus here. Yeah, so that is what we were looking at. I do not know what this means. And this is what she looks like. So she is very velvety and dark and pretty. We have got some yellowy veins with a little bit of pink at the very top. I'm just kind of interested in Australian hybrids. There's a lot of really beautiful plants that are coming out of Australia. So when one pops up, I think this was just sold as like a little no ID that was not very expensive. So I was like, you know, I'll pick it up and kind of see how it goes, because it does have really nice texture. She's very satiny. I do not know why I keep forgetting the name of this anthurium, because this is one of the more common bird's nest anthurium. Now this is the variegated version, and something I did not realize with these is they actually sunstress pink. So this had no pink when I got it. It just had kind of like an interesting darker variegation pattern. And when I started giving it more light, it started turning pink, which is really weird. Like I've never seen an anthurium or any plant really sunstress pink outside of Hoya. So just something to think about if you see one of these out in the wild. This has got absolutely stunning variegation. The reason I liked it is it had this kind of like darker variegation pattern. Like it wasn't super vibrant white. It was kind of like a dark like taupe color, which is really interesting for me to see in variegation. It could have just been due to the lighting. Like I said, this one does like really weird things depending on the lighting that you give it. This is its most recent leaf that it had put out, and it is very, very variegated. So I'm kind of worried about that yellowing off. But you can see it's turning quite pink. So it's kind of like this like rosy pink color now. It was not that color when it originally came out. And then we have the newest leaf, which it has put out down here. And this one is another one that's looking like ultra variegated with just a little bit of green on there. And it is quite pink. So she is going with the pink vibe right now. This is one of my bigger ones. This is Anthurium rabbit ears, which it is called that because of these big cool lobes that it has that look like rabbit ears. And it was a hot mess when I got it. I talk about this being like a really bad experience that I had with the seller for all the time. But this was after it had totally died back. This was the first leaf that it gave me, and this was the second leaf that it gave me. So it has sized up enormously. Like this thing is getting freaking huge. And then these are a couple of plants that I actually just keep in my dining room, like on my dining room table rather. And this is the Anthurium flavonadiatum and AFF. So it could be a hybrid with something else. It is very narrow, and it has like this really pronounced kind of like ribbing. However, you can see that the bottom of this leaf is gone because she keeps tearing her leaves like before they'll come all the way out of the cataphyll, because she is like, it's so long and narrow and the tip is so like thin. So it keeps breaking off before it emerges, and it did it again on this newest leaf. So I don't know, that one's probably going to be a little bit busted looking too when it finally, and this one took forever to come out. So I don't even know if this one's going to make it. It just was like partially out of the cataphyll forever. And it probably has to do with it being moved around a lot and me trying to figure out like why it's being such a diva, because it really has been a diva. But she is rooting pretty well in the new mix. So I'm hoping again, like this new mix will kind of solve that issue. But she does have a new leaf that is kind of like starting to push out there. So hopefully that one will not be damaged when it comes out, because these are so pretty when they are like totally complete. And then I have just got a little young Nigrolaminum Gigi that I picked up from Equigenera not too long ago. I just really liked how narrow she was. So very dark, pointy lobes, narrow, gorge. This one's yellowing off just a little bit because these were, I think, recent imports, which they normally are with Equigenera. So she's just acclimating a little bit, but her newest leaf is looking pretty good. And she is rooting in the new mix, so I think she'll be just fine. And then the last one on my table is a Salgurense red. And I just like this one a lot because of the texture on the leaves. I kind of like these kind of like off the wall anthuriums sometimes, just because they're interesting. Like I've never seen anything like this. It has like really wide, this like really big scoop in the sinus, and then a little bit of pink in the veinings. Petioles very, very, very pink. And then the veining on the new leaves is very pink as well. You can kind of see it a little bit more on the back, but I think this one will actually get a little bit large. I'm not 100% sure. This one is like a smaller version of the I cannot think of it. I will put it on the screen as per usual. But I think it doesn't get quite as large as that one, which can get very, very large. So I thought this would be a better option for me growing it in my house. All right, y'all, I think that is going to be it for day 2, shelf 2, and we will pick up again tomorrow with hopefully the last 2 shelves. I may have to break it into one more chunk. Of course, I will put all this in one video, so you won't notice on your end. However, I'm starving to death right now, so I'm gonna cut it today, and we will pick back up tomorrow. Okay, guys, so I have something to tell you, and you have to promise not to be mad at me, but this video is actually, oh my God, Sully! This video is actually going to be in 2 parts. But listen, it is not 100% my fault because I have run into some technical issues, being the fact that I don't have a hard drive, which I know sounds absolutely cuckoo in today's modern era. However, it has just legitimately not been an issue until now because I just delete things as I go. I don't keep anything, which I probably should keep some footage and stuff so that I can pop it into future videos, but I don't. I just delete it, and I'm like, I can just go screen record the video if I ever need to. So yeah, I have no hard drive, and my computer can only hold, listen, it takes a lot of memory to export and make proxies and render all these dang videos. So I only have enough space on my computer to do the first part of this video, which in reality is probably a good thing because I feel like this video is already very long and it is going to be even longer because we still have 50% of my anthurium collection to go. So I did also want to throw in really quickly, I think that I did not mention earlier in the video that I do grow in ambient, so I don't have a grow tent at present, and that is 100% just totally a personal preference. I do live, as I think I mentioned, in Georgia, so it is pretty humid indoors, especially in the summer, and I have humidifiers running and stuff, so that works for me right now, and I don't really have to worry about humidity being a thing, and it's really just a personal preference. I do not like the idea of having to grow in a grow tent because I feel like I want my plants like out right in my face, and I also feel like, I don't know, I feel like looking at grow tents, I feel like I would feel like I was in a microwave or something. Like it just feels like very inorganic and like industrial to me, which honestly, I feel like I'm gonna ride this ambient thing as far as I possibly can, but I will inevitably at some point have to get a grow tent for some species. I am 100% sure. I do have a small Kuna, which I have gotten pretty recently, and I know they are notoriously little stinkers, so that's probably going to be, like, for example, a plant that I would have to have in the grow tent. And when I start like hybridizing and things like that, like I would need somewhere to put all these seedlings. This kind of transition from just collecting anthurium to the breeding side of things and like selling seedlings, this is going to be a learning process to me. So this is going to take time and patience on my part to kind of just slowly get used to things, understand how my plants work, like what the process is, what works the best for them, and just to take things one day at a time. So while this is working for me right now, as the plants start growing and things change, what I'm doing is going to have to change. So just take this with a grain of salt. I will, of course, be sharing this entire experience of kind of this transition to hybridizing, selling, blah, blah, blah. I'll be sharing that on here some. So if you're interested in that and you want to see more videos like this from me, please subscribe. It means so much to me and it helps the channel so much. And I will have part 2 uploaded hopefully by the end of next week. So I am going to work on exporting this video right now. I'm about to edit this clip. The rest of the video is edited. I'll be editing it and uploading it ASAP. And then the end of the video, which is going to have like my more interesting, fancy shiny anthuriums is going to be up. At latest, it should be the end of this next week. Now listen, I have not been the best with my upload schedule recently, but we're doing better. That is a goal. That is a goal I've set for myself going forward. We are doing better with uploads, and I'm gonna have that video up by the end of this next week. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna see you there. Bye.